Okay, in this video, I'm going to walk you through how we are going to navigate our homework assignments and how you're going to interact and just give you some tips. And of course, if there's something I don't talk about in here, always please feel free to ask. I'm in a student account, so this is exactly how it should look for you. I'm going to scroll down to chapter 2, I'm going to go to section 2.1, and of course in here, if we haven't already talked about it, you've already gone through your objectives and your notes. Now notice the difference between the notes and the homework. They're both assignments, but notes, there is no late pass option. Homework, late pass option, right? We can use late passes. You get 5 of them for the entire semester, and they extend the assignment for 5 days. You can see the due date right here, so it's all kind of right there for you to see. Now I'm going to go ahead and click into this homework assignment, and we're going to go ahead and start it, right? And voila. Now, what do I see? The first thing I'm seeing here in this first picture is I have a graph. Now I want to point out sometimes you might want to see this graph a little bit larger. There's a magnifying glass in the bottom right hand corner. When I click that, it goes full screen so I can see much bigger any kind of detail I need to see. All right, next. Now they want us to find the, this problem's asking us to find the average rate of change. When I click into a box, when I get this kind of notation, this is telling me maybe I need fractions, maybe I need exponents, right? This is where I get all my special symbols. I can click over and get my special types of functions or trig functions, which we don't do in this class, but they're here. Notice pi is in there, so you might need pi if we're doing circles or something. So just note that's where pi is. Now, I will say, for example, I can type pi and it will convert it to pi. So there's lots of keyboard shortcuts. And in this system, I can also type in fractions using the slash with the question mark. So I could do like 1 divided by 2 and it will make the fraction for me. Now, let's keep experiencing, talking about what this problem has in it. And actually, let's get the right answer in here. So how do I do average rate of change going from 0 to 2? Well, starting, it's rise over run. So going from 0, the x value of 0 to x value of 2, I'm rising 4, and I am running 2. Okay, so that would be 4 over 2. Now, I can hit submit, and it marked me right? Because that is equivalent to 4 divided by 2, which is 2. I can hit submit. I'm still right. Now, sometimes I get students who are saying, like, I know I have the right answer, but it's marking me wrong. My suggestion would be make sure you read the directions to verify it didn't say round 2 decimal places or something of that nature, because if it says round, it must be rounded. But also, if it doesn't say round, then it must be exact. So, for example, what if our answer was square root of 2, right? If the answer is square root of 2, then you have to type in square root of 2. Even though your calculator told you it's 1.41421356, which is the square root of 2 out of your calculator, that's not exact. That's an approximation, and the system would mark you wrong because the problem doesn't say round your answer to 9 decimal places or whatever it is. No, it wants it exact. So you would be typing in the exact answer of square root of 2. Okay, so just keep those things in mind. And as you're doing problems, and if it's marking you wrong, stopping and thinking about why is it marking me wrong. Okay, now once you hit submit, you will see this little key that pops up next to your problem. That will show you what the correct answer should have been or is, right? And it doesn't show up until after you completely get it wrong. And so let's go on to try another problem. Let's do like this one. If I type in 5, I hit submit. I got it wrong. I don't get that little key, right? Now what if I try it again? Shucks, I still didn't get it wrong. Okay, I didn't get it right. Let's try 9. Darn it, I didn't get it right. Now notice it's grayed out. I can't do any more attempts on this problem. I got my key and it should have been 52.5. So now what? Do you see up here at the top, this get a similar question? It is reset. I got new numbers, I can try again. And there is no penalty for doing this. The homework is your learning experience, it's your time, your practice, so you do the problem as many times as you need to get full credit. But what I'm going to caution you against, I have seen students in the past just kind of try to reverse engineer the problem, which is great for getting homework done, but it does not help you learn the idea for what you are trying to do for a test. So the whole purpose of college is critical thinking and learning how to assimilate information to use it to answer questions that were different than what were in your notes, right? To get you to apply knowledge, not just regurgitate knowledge. So I will urge you to please work the problem as it's intended. Don't try to reverse by getting these keys. Now, let me just regen this one more time. Now, what you can see here, I want to show you the little code at the top of every problem. This will show you the score we have in this problem right now. Right now, we haven't got anything right, so it's just 0 out of 1. I have 3 tries remaining on this question. Now, so if I try this, shucks, I got it wrong. Now notice it's saying 2-3. So there's 2 to 3 tries remaining depending on the part. And if I click the details, it'll show me the actual part. Part 1 I have wrong, and I have 2 tries remaining. Part 2 I have not tried, and I have 3 tries remaining. Okay. And then I can regenerate this problem 96 more times before I'm locked out of the problem, because my theory is 99 attempts on every problem should be enough. Hopefully you're asking for help way sooner than you run out of attempts. And so we go back and we look at the green problem, the problem we got right. You'll notice recorded score, 1 out of 1. I have 1 more attempt on this version. So what if you were just trying, you're like, oh shucks, right? Even though I got it right, I used all my attempts and I would like to practice it. I would like to get a similar version. Well, you can. You can do that. You can regenerate it. Notice it kept the 1 point out of 1. So I can try this problem as many times as I want. I can say, maybe I got it out of luck. Maybe I guessed the answer. My point is locked in, but I really want to work on that problem. You absolutely can. All right, next. Help, video help. These videos are the devil. There is research and information that's coming out left and right about this. Do not watch these videos. Watching these videos is bad. It is somebody walking you through the problem, how to do the problem. Do not watch these videos. The only time you should watch this video is when you're like, I did the problem, I'm pretty sure I got it right, but it's marking me wrong. Let me see if I can find a mistake. Using these videos to help you get started, using these videos to get the idea of how to do the problem, and then you're going to go do it yourself. You have taken the thinking out of calculus and you are now mimicking, and that is memorization. So that this makes you do very badly on tests. Do not watch these videos. What you should be doing is messaging your instructor. Okay, you click this link. Now notice what it does. It brings up a email already filled out to me with I know a question, I know everything. You don't have to worry about telling me anything about the problem. The only thing you should be doing is going in here and sending me a picture of your work. So you click on the little insert image. You're going to go find your image that you've already uploaded to your computer. So you took a picture with your cell phone or whatever it is. You say upload. There we go. And say okay. And notice now there's the picture I sent of my work. Now, if you feel like an explanation is needed, please make sure you do it above, either above the picture, actually, or below the picture, it doesn't matter, but don't do it down here. The question ID, blah, blah, blah. I don't even look at that stuff. So don't type anything down there. Keep it up above that line. So you'd say here, whatever you think. I think this, mistake occurred, whatever, blah. Whatever you want to say. Hey, it helps if you can spell. There we go. Okay, think the mistake occurred, blah, blah, blah. There we go, mistake occurred. And you say whatever you want to say. You hit send. That's it. That's what I need from you. I will not respond to a message if it does not have a picture. Now, I'll respond. I'll just tell you, where's your picture, right? I need to see a picture of your work. That being said, I know there are some problems that don't require work, so I get it. Like, there's very few, but there are some. So feel free to ask me, or you're like, is this answer, I think this answer is right, except maybe I'm rounding wrong or something of that nature. But then it's still, it's still always helpful to see how you're getting your answer. But sometimes I can write back and say, oh yeah, you're rounding wrong or something of that nature. But generally speaking, 99% of the time, message instructor, insert a picture, of your work. Also, post a forum. This is awesome. Same idea, but this is where you can post to other students and get help. And so this way, if you want other students to respond and help each other out, you think you might get a faster response, or whatnot, because there are going to be 90, almost 100 students in the class this semester. So you might have, and I would much rather you guys help each other than me help you. Because that way there's learning occurring, right? So anyway, if you want to post in there, you guys are more than welcome to help. And I'll go into the forum too and help post in there. It's not like just students. So if you post to the forum, that's absolutely okay. But again, remember that is student facing, so just make sure everything is school appropriate. Okay. So we got that. We got submitting. Now, the sometimes the students get concerned about, okay, they went through, they did all the problems for the assignment. Notice there is no like submit assignment button at the bottom or anything, right? So how do you get credit for the assignment? Well, you did. The second you got a green check, the second you got that 1 out of 1, it's recorded in the gradebook. There's nothing else you need to do. It's done. You could throw your computer out the window, you could lose power, whatever you want to do. Your score, that 1 point you got, is locked in. Okay, next. You'll see some people, I've heard, this was one of my favorite things I've ever heard from a student. I can't do math on the computer. I need a book because I need to write it down. I need to have things on paper. I agree. I can't do math on a computer either, and I would never do any of these problems on a computer. I would write them all down. So, but if what that student really meant is I would like the problems printed, well, there is a print button. So you click this. And now you'll get a nice pretty version, and notice it also fills in your answers for you too. Anything you've typed in is filled in, but you get a nice print ready version that you can print, and it has all the graphics and all the, everything's ready to go, and it'll print out nicely on your computer, on your printer, excuse me. And I don't use a lot of intros, so these things are kind of, you don't really need these. It's really more just get in here and say print, and you're good to go. You'll get your print copy of the problems. I don't think it always breaks up. Yeah, so you see sometimes it does go from, across pages, but generally speaking, it's pretty darn good for getting a nice little print version. Okay, so as far as homework goes, that's a big piece of it. Now, another thing I want to show you is maybe we've done our section 2.1, and you're like, did I do the whole thing? Well, you can put your mouse over the little notepad with pencil, and it will show you. You have some unanswered questions, you have a score of 9.1. Another thing is if we go to the gradebook, and we click on the grade itself. I wanted to show you this because this is great for review. Now you'll notice when I click in here, I can see what I was doing. Notice there's no submit buttons, right? This is more of kind of a review model. But look up here, do you see I can look back through every version of the problem that I've ever had. So as I've regened and did more versions, I can look back and say, what was my first problem? And you can look and you can check what the answer should have been. And also you can see all the tries. This is what I typed in, this is what I typed in, this is what I typed in. All this information is here. So also know all that information is there. So if you're like, I know I typed that in, I can tell you if you did or did not. So can you, okay? So that's kind of the neat thing is you can go back and review and look at everything. Now you'll notice though, you only get the key if you tried the problem. So it was blank, even though this version's been submitted. There's no key. You actually have to go in and submit the problems and get at least one red X. Once you get one red X, then you can see what the answer should have been. Okay. Now, obviously, on your current version, if this is currently available for you to work on, it's not going to be there. That's why this version 3 does not have anything on it, is because you still have attempts on it. Okay, so there is that. Now, so how do we get there? Because sometimes it gets lost. That's from clicking on the grade itself. If you click on the assignment, it brings you into the assignment for you to actually work on it. So this, you'll notice, has the submit buttons. So sometimes students get confused that there's actually, from that one screen, it matters where you click. It brings you into 2 different versions of the assignment. Okay, so as far as doing homework, that's that. I will also point out, as far as I think this is in the course navigation, but when we click here, you can see your assignments are listed here as well. So if I were to click on the homework 2.1, it will bring me right back into that assignment to work on, just like we saw before. Okay, so I think this is going to be pretty good. Let me just verify. Yes, I did mention answers must be exact. I'm going through my little checkbox here. Symbols, I showed you how to click on a box and enter with symbols. Number of attempts, check. Help, getting for help. What's the key on getting help? You must upload a picture of your problem. Do not send me the entire assignment. Show me just that one picture. Okay. Sometimes graphs are hard to read. Make sure you click that little magnifying glass, right, to get bigger versions. And a lot of students like things on paper. I am one of them. Make sure you can go ahead and print. All right, I hope this video was helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.